We'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with minutes of the last meeting. If Jim, is there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. They're approved. Okay. Go into old business. Brian?
Nothing needs announced. This is the fourth time I've given this, and I think some people probably heard this before, so I decided to do something new and pass out some bullet points of some of the main points of the housing needs analysis project conducted by TPNA. We got that done probably about 3 weeks to a month ago, and it was a joint venture between the county, the city, and the two RDCs. So we appreciate everybody's cooperation on that. Again, the analysis was to identify the housing-related challenges, inform local leaders and residents, and moving forward on a housing strategy. This was particularly timely given the comprehensive plan process that the county is going through. I put some overview data there for you to flip through. We had a growth of 7.8% between 2000 and 2020 as far as the county goes. It is projected from essentially 2020 on to kind of be stagnant, if not lose a little bit. So we want to change that. Some of that is contributing to the fact that we don't have enough housing and actually can't capitalize on some of the opportunities that we do have. They assessed some of our housing diversity. It's 83% of the housing in Decatur County is single family. And that's not completely unusual for rural locations, but it does again show an opportunity for maybe a little bit more diversity in what we build. In the last, I think it was 5 years, 81% of our housing that was built, new housing was single family. So there's some opportunities there. Just running through these relatively quick, and I do, Don, did you send that around, the final copy? Okay, it's like 40 some pages, nicely colored and everything, and they do. If you did.
This is better reading.
Yeah, but they do go into some other analysis, actually doing some comparisons to other communities as far as their level of diversity compared to Decatur County and Greensburg, some like communities, and even as apples to apples of who we get with really low in the diversity chart. Also, the age of our housing, 22% of the housing built in Decatur County was done prior to 1940, and less than 6% has been built in the last 15 years. That all being said, like most of the Midwest, if not the country in general, the rising home values, the median sale price increased from $165,950 in June of 2020, $240,500 in just a short 5 years. It almost, I don't want to say double, but it was very close. And also combined with the high rates and or due to the next factor, within our rental market actually, in 2024 had a 1.5% vacancy rate in Decatur County, which is pretty remarkable if you think, and of course that drives prices up as well. So we have some opportunities for growth as well. Overall, both rental and single family and whatnot, the vacancy rates were decreased from 9.6 in 2014 to 6.6 in 2023. And for perspective, a healthy vacancy rate is usually between 7 and 8%. We're below that. So we do show demand for new housing. As far as low-income housing and such, we have about 370 units of low-income housing in Decatur County. And of those 370, in the next 10 years, 171 of those units will expire and can go to market rate. So there could be an increased need for quality low-income housing as well as we move forward. These were all taken in, from straight data, of course, but also we did a number of focus groups. We interviewed developers, we did elected officials, we did the ag community, we did local nonprofits and such, and to get their opinion as to what they liked about Decatur County and Greensburg. And everybody said they liked the small town feel, the safety, affordability, but they would like more amenities in the community. You're supposed to cough during that. There is a growing need for senior housing, senior being one of the fastest growing portions of our population, and assisted living going along those same lines. And going back to the need for diversity, we need to realize that duplexes and townhomes not only benefit some of those incoming people that might not be able to buy a single family home, but also for the seniors who want to downsize. That gives them an opportunity so they don't have to care for a full-size house with a whole yard and everything. They just want to downsize. It kind of meets both those needs. So future projections, they said job growth could range from 762 jobs to over 3,200 jobs by 2034. I tend towards the higher end, depending on annual growth rates of either 0.5% or 2%. And for perspective, 1.5 to 1 jobs to housing ratio is ideal. And again, if we're going to do that, we're going to need more housing. We have about a little over 4,500 people coming into work in Decatur County. We're a net importer, and about 1/3 of those are potentially seeking housing in Decatur County or Greensburg. So again, another opportunity for us. Some of the final conclusions that they came up with at the end, some goals for us, to increase the diversity of housing options to meet varied community needs. And it's, again, that's an ongoing theme throughout the entire report. To address blighted properties through proactive restoration programs. Benefit of blighted properties, the fact that the infrastructure is already there, it's cheaper to do a lot of times, and not only will it provide new housing, but also it has a positive effect on the properties around it, that leads sometimes to full-fledged neighborhood revitalization and whatnot. I know the county is doing a little bit of that. Rush County and Shelby County both have good programs. And from a regional standpoint, we're also looking at that through the Ready 2 possibilities to see if we can get some funding for that. But that is something that we are investigating for a formal program. Encourage development by streamlining the permitting process, ensuring consistent code enforcement. That was one of the hiccups that they said. Sometimes it can be inconsistent as far as enforcement of the existing ordinances and whatnot. It is getting better. We were told by the developers, but there is still some work to do compared to some of the other communities and such. Integrate housing development with quality of life improvements. Remember, when we do build new housing units and whatnot, make sure they're connected to the schools, work, parks, green spaces, if we can possibly do that through the use of trails or what have you. Looking at walking trails and biking trails and such as infrastructure, not just an amenity. There's a number of them that actually utilize that to get to and from work safely. So we need to consider and to and from school safely. So we want to look at those kind of amenities, not just as recreation or anything, but actually straight up infrastructure. And then, of course, a consultant would say develop a strategic housing plan that includes your efforts and partnerships, which I think we're going to be able to do that, capture that with the comprehensive plan. So. I think again, I suggest everybody kind of flip through it and look. There's it's much better layout than what we had last, and the last one was done in 2018-19, and it was minimal at best. Gave us a little bit of information, but this one's much more thorough. We've already on Monday we had another developer come to town looking at sites, so it's great to have this as an asset to be able to share with them, to show that, yes, it's not just us saying that we feel we need more housing and better diversity of housing, but we have the stats and the demographics to back that up. So I think that was part of the purpose, and we really appreciate you guys taking part in that to make it happen. So if there's any questions or anything like that that people have tonight or even later, feel free to email me and we'll get the information you need. Thanks.
In conjunction with that, we do have an invoice for the 10,000 we committed. So I need a motion to approve the invoice.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, we'll go to new business, any our old business if anybody has. Not, we'll go to new business and we'll start with Stacy.
Hello, my name is Stacy Schutte, and thank you for allowing me a chance to meet with you all today. I'm representing St. Mary's School here in Greensburg. Just to give you a little bit of background information on St. Mary's, we are a state accredited school servicing students in preschool through 8th grade. We have 2 classes of each grade, over 50 employees, and we have 364 students. In kindergarten through 8th grade, we are 1-to-1 with our computers, which means each student has their own device. Kindergarten through 4th grade, they stay at school, and starting in 5th grade, they're allowed to take them home and use them for homework and things like that. So I'm here today to request $30,800, and you can see under the request where all of that money is going to go. So we will buy 5 new teacher laptops. We will buy 60 new kindergarten Chromebooks. Our kindergarten machines are the oldest in our building, so that's where we wanted to start. And then we were hoping to get 30 new loaner and replacement Chromebooks. So when a student has their computer break or have a glitch in it and needs servicing, instead of our tech department taking their computer and keeping it, we would be able to give them another one and minimize any gaps in learning that might happen if we had to just take it and keep it. So, so that's where our $30,800 will go. If you do that math, it's around $80 per student that we are requesting. So, any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
So every student has their own laptop?
Mm-hmm.
And these are just to replace ones that are obsolete or no longer.
Right. So our kindergarten devices are our oldest, and I would guess they're probably 8 years old or so. So they've served their time.
Yeah. Yes. Seeing how you checked with our attorney, that's something that we can fund. I make a motion to approve $30,800 for St. Mary's laptops.
I'll second it. I like spending our money on education.
We appreciate it.
Is there?
Do we have to rework our,
Yes, we really should.
So it'll have to be-
We should
take a
rework.
couple, 3 months to
That'll
do
take a
that?
couple of months to get it done.
Yeah.
But we really should, because we have specifically, and the other ones have referenced a Pacific school. So we need to probably
Work
go ahead and do this one also, so we can, and I would think after going through all this, we might want to make this one a little bit broader, so we don't have to come back later on and
That's fine.
redo it again.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
that would
even
be
though
required.
we're allowed to spend 15% of
Yeah.
our budget, we still have to have that specific.
We have to be able to, that have to be able to identify it in our items. And right now, we don't have any mention of anything in all those items specific to.
Got it. All right.
So unfortunately, yes, we have to go through it. I think we can maybe do a little better job of making it a little more inclusive. But we don't have to go through this.
We have to end up revising our
Yes.
sheet.
Yep, you got it.
I just need to take a few minutes.
Yeah.
That's okay. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you.
So what we can do is, for meeting, next month's meeting, start that process. Get that rolling.
I wonder if we need to review the entire thing.
May not hurt to go through that, and if each of you would review all those items. We had four different amendments
Yeah.
now. This would make the fifth one. And if you could look at all those and come up with anything else you think might be a good time to roll it all in.
Can we just put an education item in there with so much money and whatever we don't use? I don't know.
I don't know, but I can ask that.
Okay, I just wondered.
I can ask
You
that.
understand what I mean?
Yeah, I can ask if we can make it much more general.
Stacy, we had to go through this same process when Mr. Robbins came before us, wanted us to fund a housing study. So we had to amend our list of projects we can fund, which is public hearings and commissioner okays and plan commission okay and all this other kind of stuff. That it's something we've done several times in the past. So it's just a hoop to jump through.
Okay.
But it's not that big a deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than it takes time.
Other than
Yeah,
it
it
takes
takes time.
several months.
Yeah,
We're on a month-to-month meeting, and so this month we do this, and then that month, and that month, and that month, so.
yeah. It takes a little while, but,
That's okay.
okay.
So, should have everything ready to go by next school year.
And that's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
our tech department would just use the summer to prepare all of those things and have them in place for next year if that's a timeline that's workable for everybody.
Unfortunately,
Motion and second to.
Pardon?
Motion and a second to
Yep, I
amend
second it.
our, to amend our,
Yeah, to amend our
our,
plan.
yep.
we need a motion and a second on that.
Dan, Dan, motion and second was from,
You made the motion, didn't you, Brian?
I made a motion to
Yeah.
pay it.
yeah,
I didn't make a motion to amend.
okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend. You can second that too.
I second.
Two motions going at the same time.
Oh, first one was that. So, okay, on the motion to amend our plan, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We'll get that process rolling and have it ready for next month.
So we put off our motion to approve until after the.
Do I need to come back for any of those meetings?
No, not really.
So just sit tight until I hear from you, or what would you like for me to do?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, you can. We'll-
Thanks for printing this too, where no man can read it.
We just have to get the,
I'm sorry.
we just have to get the process done.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
As far as I'm concerned, we're all very supportive and we'll just make it happen.
Okay,
Okay,
So that's safe to assume that that was approved, just we have to wait until the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted?
yeah, that's pretty safe, so.
Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Okay, next up is, Allen Memorial Aquatic Center.
Yes, thank you all. So you don't have to listen to me the entire time. I know that there was some interest in hearing about how your money performed with the sports complex referring to the ball diamond. So since Brian already had his chance, I will give this to Erica. But I did want to introduce our committee. So we have Jenny and Tammy from the Decatur County Community Foundation, Erica Gunn from Tourism, Jody Bittinger, he is our CPO, Certified Pool Operator and Maintenance Supervisor. I love saying that. And then Brian Robbins, Parks President. Chris Noblet is also on there as well, but he is unable to attend. He is closing on his house tonight, moving into Greensburg. So I will let Erica take over for the complex first.
Hello, good evening. I have some figures on the sports complex and the profit and loss that has, is it mainly the profit and loss part, or is it the people coming?
Overall.
Okay, overall. There's diamond revenue for when people are renting it, annual sponsorship income and concession profit.
And that sheet that she's looking at is in your
Oh,
packet.
yeah, it's this one right here, that one. And we have, yes, that's the last page. It's $112,300.66 is our profit for year one. Now, going forward, there will be more sponsorships, more diamonds with more sponsorship with that, another concession stand. And this includes the labor for the concessions, all the rental, all those types of things. So that's like the bottom line number, which is great. More, than we anticipated. And I expect next year to be even more. So it will be a longer season, and there's going to be more ball diamond like tournaments. So it'll be a longer season, more of those. So overall, a lot more income. So, yeah. Anything I missed? Okay. Back to Gabe.
So, yeah, and then so just with that, that was just for the 4 diamonds that we currently have. The other 4 are now completed. So with 175,000 people there, the anticipation is 350 to 400,000 people should be there just for the sports complex next year. So it's definitely going to be a large increase. Also inside that packet, there's several other pages that Erica put together for us. There's an Allen Memorial Aquatic Center that looks much like the sports complex one. That kind of, and we can get to that, but that kind of shows you our expectations still being reserved, just like we were with the sports complex. So it's these numbers are what we feel is safe. Inside these numbers, we did not take into account the sports complex being there and the effect that it may have on the pool and people attending. So none of that is included in that. So I'm here today to talk about the current Allen Memorial Pool. We would like to put in a new pool. We have done the research, selected a bot operator, a build, operate, transfer operator in order to do the project. The project is budgeted at $4 million. We anticipate that we need to raise $4.5 million just to cover any shortfalls or improvements or things that arise along the way. We anticipate that needs to be our total number. So far today, we have just over $1 million. $1 million was granted by the Decatur County Community Foundation. I believe they are about to release that they are going to do $300,000 in matches as well. So they will match up to $300,000 that came in. We haven't announced that we're doing that yet, and we've already received $40,000 in donations. So folks are just coming in and submitting payments online and just trying to show support from the community for the pool. So it's showing good strength. We anticipate that we should raise around $1.5 million total from the Community Foundation with their matches and community support. So our ask from the RDC is $1 million in support of the project. We would be able to make that payable over multiple years, to try to alleviate, the one-time payment. As I know that can be hard on a budget. I have maps, prepared. There is a map floating around that shows the, old pool. And then, and if anybody wants to see that, to reference that against the new pool. But currently, as you will see in your print, our suggestions or our plans that we have rendered, and our current prints have been paid. They are currently being designed right now. So this is the first conceptual layout. The actual real prints are being drawn. So as you look at this, you'll see where the current deep end is. This will now be a zero entry that is fanned out to be fully ADA accessible. You'll notice that if you look at the old print versus the new one, you can kind of tell that the back lot has been squared off. It doesn't have an indent. Also, where the current pump house is, there's shading and seating right there. You can see that we've squared off all the concrete up towards the pool house as well. All that is because we are adding the splash pad to this. So it's a 30-foot by 30-foot splash pad. That's right here. I know it doesn't say splash pad, but that is that location right there. Once you add that, it actually takes away from the deck space. How you determine your bather load for the pool is determined by the deck space. So right now, the current bather load of the pool is 450 people. So with us taking that away, it could reduce the bather load. So therefore, we've added extra concrete and squared everything off so that we can stay there or above where we were prior. I put some couple pictures down. We're looking to implement a 4-flume slide. There is one that is 6 foot tall, 8 foot tall, 10 foot tall, and 12 foot tall. Allows 4 children to go down at once, therefore making the pool very appealing, but also hopefully not creating those lines that some people get frustrated with. Also looking to put a family slide in that is on the prints and marked, that is coming in on the side of the zero entry. If you're not familiar with a family slide, they're about 10 feet tall, about 8 to 10 feet wide, but have a gradual slope down to the end so that multiple children or children with their parents can go down at one time. So really increases the interest. Splash pad, we only show 4 things on there right now. That is just for the conceptual layout. We're still determining. We have lots of high hopes of what we want to put into that splash pad. We also are looking to move concessions down to I said it wrong in the council meeting. I noticed I said east end of the building, but it's actually the west. But move concessions to the west end of the building. We have a traffic problem right now. So currently the concession stand is right here. And so you have to go past the entrance back and forth. And for children, that's a little bit of a safety concern for us. So want to move concessions to the end, try to keep the children focused in this area away from the entrance. Doing that, we were afraid of space, so we've actually backed this pool up 10 feet away from the building. So it went 10 feet more to the west so that we can ensure that there is enough space for traffic through there. We are looking at a new 20 by 50 pump house in the back. That is the building back here that's marked. Doing that was a little bit strategic. Backs right up to the parking lot. We can put a garage door on there, makes chemical access and maintenance so much easier. And also with these new requirements, our surge pit that is required in order to gather enough water. How these pools operate is they can't draw water because it's a safety concern with so many kids in there. You can get stuck to the drain. So the drain systems of a commercial pool manually feed down. So we dig a surge pit down. That'll all be housed inside that new pump room. So in this pool, everything will be hidden versus in the other one, there was obviously lots of things out in the open, but this will be fully contained into one building. We are still working with lots of other folks. We had 2 meetings still this week looking for corporate sponsors. We have a lot of people that are interested. So we're going to continue to raise money for as long as we can to ensure that this project goes through. We are looking to do a new 8-foot vinyl coated fence all the way around the property. We're going to implement a UV sterilization system. So we will still use chlorine like normal, but the UV sterilization system removes virtually all the rest of the bacteria that is in a pool. So it makes it much cleaner and safer for everyone. We're going to do minor changes to the pool house. The tile, it's all in great shape. Plumbing fixtures need to be replaced. Lockers just need a little bit of paint, but as far as the actual building itself, it's still in really good shape. So there wasn't a lot of upgrades that need to happen there. We don't want to make a lot of changes that aren't necessary. We already know that, this is an expensive item that we're trying to pay for as a county, and we want to make sure that we only do the things that are necessary. This will be a liner pool. If we were to shoot gunite, it has to be refinished about every 5 years, so you have to completely drain it down and refinish the surface. So therefore, it adds a lot to the maintenance cost. We don't want to do that. So this will be a full liner pool. They do put texture on the liner. So like, for instance, in the zero entry, it's not slick. There's texture to it. They design them this way, so it's not uncommon. But with the liner pool, we're guaranteed 15 years, but we anticipate between 15 and 20 years on the liner life. There's a checklist in the back, gives you kind of a little bit of a rundown of what we've done. We tried to do as many things ahead of before we came to ask for funds from anyone. We did do core sampling of the bottom of the pool and the sidewalls to test for asbestos. That was one of the biggest concerns. There was a $500,000 line item in the last build of the pool, was that if there was asbestos in the concrete, we had to pay to get rid of that in a special way. So we did test for that. It all came back negative. We've done a lot to ensure that the cost of this pool is as low as it can be. And I'm sure that reflects in our pricing versus some of the pricing that had been seen before. Commissioners did approve this 3-0 vote to move forward with the BOT operator and to start this project. I know I've said a lot, but we also did a new survey. I will address to that. If you weren't aware, before there was a survey that was done, there was 900 participants in that survey. It was very heavily pushed. We had 900 responses. This survey that we did, we received 3,456 responses with 92% in favor. Of those 92% that were in favor, they averaged 4.5 people per visit. So that they would say it averaged out to where they would bring 4.5 people per person. In our placer data that Erica pulled, it was shown that just in what we can track, over 4,000 people left the county last year to go to neighboring towns or cities for pools. And their average stay, kind of interesting, was 6 hours or longer. So we brought up in council that I don't anticipate, I think we're going to have a large volume when there's a ball diamond in town, but I don't think we're going to see that same longevity of stay. They're not going to spend 6 hours at the pool when you have games going in between there. I think it's more of a split. So you may see that turn be a little bit quicker at our pool, but for the residents, it would average roughly 6 hours. I'd love to answer any questions. I know I've done a lot of talking.
I'm gonna set this one out.
Danny's already had his turn.
Well, I'm gonna set it out. I've got two different things going on. And I'm gonna let you guys make a decision on this one. If that's okay with everybody. I feel like that's the way I should.
I don't
Kind of
have to say if it's
conflict.
okay or not.
Do what?
I said I don't have to say whether it's okay.
Well, I think it's a conflict.
Yeah, sure.
I do. I think it's kind of a conflict.
Sure.
Anybody else have any questions or thoughts?
So on the fundraising piece, you mentioned, of course, the community foundation support. And you're asking us for $1 million, so roughly you believe 2.5, 2.6 of the cost potentially is covered through those two mechanisms. And I know Don and I had the benefit of getting a preview of this a couple of weeks ago, and you're approaching the city RDC, and the feedback that you received from Darren is that it may not fit in their scope, so it leaves a couple $1 million short. Where's that funding coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do intend to go in front of the city RDC. I think Darren's first inclination was that the city RDC's money should be more focused, or believed to be focused towards infrastructure, that then brings in people to the county that pay property taxes, then we then recoup on the backside, right? So it's an investment to get a return. I believe this is infrastructure as well. Very convenient that we had a housing study tonight that said what we were thinking already to the city RDC, but we do have to have amenities to bring people to Greensburg. The Ball Diamonds has been an eye-opening experience, you know, with 175,000 people coming here, looking at the impact that it's had to our community. Having this pool is another amenity that I think can greatly increase the traction. So yes, I do intend to go in front of the city RDC. I don't know how that'll go, but I intend to raise as much as we can from them. But I went in front of council this past Tuesday, yesterday, and requested that we could be approved for up to $2 million so that we could secure the remaining funding. We do have a couple other sources that we are trying to work with as well. So our anticipation is that we should land hopefully in that 2.5 range, as you mentioned. Would love for it to be more. Again, we have a few irons in the fire that I just can't say are for sure yet. But in order to kick the project off fully funded, I asked if they would approve up to $2 million. So they are currently in financial review with their, your financial advisor. So they are currently in that process now, and I will be on their agenda in January to hopefully get approval for that. And right now, the DOT operator is currently on site. The work that they are doing is work that has to be done regardless, whether or not we turn it into a parking lot or if it becomes a new pool. So they are in the deconstruction and investigative phase. While we try to mitigate as much risk as we could, we still want to tear the decking up, make sure that there's no surprises that we're not aware of. So they are currently doing that process right now, as well as kind of setting themselves up that if they go forward, they're able to work on it all winter.
With moving it further to the west, a little more parking than we already have an issue with, is that a concern, or, I mean, do you have a solution to?
It's actually not, and it's a very optic illusion, but if you look at the old map, you can see that there's parking still on the west side of that inset, the piece that's not inset. So actually what it is the other parking spots that are in the inset, it's just a really, really wide gap between them and the parking spots behind them. So with us squaring that off, it actually brings them all out even, where it's more unified. So there is no parking spots lost. And to address the parking concern, we are already well aware that there's not enough parking out there. There has been talks with the Parks Department commissioners that we really think that we need to, on the sports complex, and if you're familiar, go down the side of Diamonds 8 right there and create more of a parking lot out more towards the airport with the ground that we have available. It's really, they're building a new concession between 7 and 8. So with that parking lot being there, it's like a direct entrance walkway right to it. So we are aware that that's another issue. It's a good problem to have when you have a lot of people attending and and you're short on parking. So.
Any other questions or discussion?
The if we choose to move forward, you said we could pledge over a period of time. What's you looking at 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
Well, we know that we're asking for a lot. So we want to try to be as flexible as we can. I mean, it's a very generous give back to the community, and we very well understand that. While it would be great to, yes, have everything up front, we fully understand that that's not maybe the best option for you. So I think anything proposed wise could hopefully work. We try to find a way. But my initial thinking was whether that would be like a 335,000 payment for 3 years or 250,000 payment for 4 years. I think either one of those are very easy to work with, if that's doable.
I mean, is it doable for you?
It is, so we have some potential for the community foundation to help us float that money. So if they know that it's coming back and they have the approval, with all these funds are going into a Decatur County Community Foundation account anyway. So they would, in discussions we've had, it would be payable back to them. They would float the money for us up front.
So money that we could possibly provide would go to the community foundation then?
Unless there was an issue with that, but yes, that would be the targeted goal. So-
Already done.
That's what I was wondering, because we have already done that, right?
Yeah, so our target is, it's better for us to let the community foundation handle it, let them cycle the invoices. So that's our preferred method. That's so far where all money to this came in has went.
I was just wondering about, if the community foundation floats out the money to cover the costs, and then they'll be reimbursed back, right?
Yes. Yeah, so with all the money coming to them, if it was an annual payment of whatever that dollar amount would work out to, it would just come back to them in the form of repayment.
Well, personally, I think that this is something that's needed for the community. We supported the ball diamonds. The ball diamonds have been successful. I think this is only going to add to it. I think it falls within our scope. We found that out with ball diamonds. So my personal belief is it's something I would like to support on behalf of it. Pretty steep.
I agree. I think it's another way to support the community and make the community a little better, which is why we're here. And I would like to, given our time frame too, I would suggest a three-year commitment.
Well, if you're looking at a 3-year commitment, I don't know why we couldn't do $500,000 for 3 years. My opinion.
That would be better.
I didn't figure you'd object.
I would not object.
I will say this much, he's giving you guys a better deal than he's giving us.
No, but any other thoughts, comments?
For 2 years, I don't know.
I can live with that.
Well, I'll make a motion to provide funding for the reconstruction of the Allen Memorial Pool in the amount of $500,000 a year for 3 years.
I will second that.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Thank you for your support of the community, and I can't thank you all enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's some of that city's money. You're tired of funding the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you said, it's one of the projects we should be.
It's, okay.
Was a regular use guy, right?
Yeah, well, I spent a lot of time out there when I was a kid.
Okay, next item we have
Yeah. We climbed the fence a lot.
That's why we're putting up an 8-foot fence instead of 6.
You didn't know Lefty
Well, I didn't
fell.
say it was during the day.
You didn't know Lefty fell. City cop.
Okay, next item is, we have a bill from Baker Tilly for, services they perform for us in the amount of $46.10. And submit that for motion to approve.
We still got money in the administrative account.
Actually, I have checked, we can actually, the administrative account only has, 7,600 in it. But I checked, we can draw this out of the regular excess funds again. I checked with Baker Tilly.
Even after our last disbursement, that's all we got in?
Yes,
So we wouldn't see anything in like spring to
that's right.
bolster that up.
Next spring before we get any more into the administrative account.
Anticipate anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna have some more legal fees with the,
Yeah, with the redoing the
yeah.
amendment.
So I would recommend that we withdraw that money from the excess fund account.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor of paying the invoice, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. All right. Is there any other business tonight?
The only thing I've got is, I don't know whether it affects anybody on the board or not. There's something called lucrative boards. Todd knows what I'm talking about, I think. I don't know how many boards any of you's on, but you may want to check and see this lucrative board thing. It's like Tom Cherry's on Soil and Water, APC. He's gonna have to drop off one of them. Did you have to drop off one, Todd?
I'm off the area plan because we can't be on it.
Because of that lucrative board deal?
I'd like to know whoever decided that's lucrative.
I'd like to know who decided it's all lucrative. It's
Somebody
come
got an
down from
education
the,
problem if they call either one of them jobs lucrative.
well, it came from the Attorney General, because I guess they've got some board members making a living off of it up north and stuff. Some of these boards paying $100 a board, and they're on 4 or 5 of them and things like that. So that's what, so if you're on any other boards, check and see. That's the only thing I got to say. They called me about it, so.
This one didn't lucrative bites.
Do what?
I said, this board isn't lucrative.
Well, anytime you spend any money, I think is when they're talking about lucrative. Yeah, this is really lucrative, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's all the meetings gonna be.
55.
Oh, it's up to 55?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right, one other item I do have, I think I sent you a list of the meetings for next year. And the reason I did that, if it's okay with all of you, is to have those posted on the website.
Fine with me.
And, and obviously, if we run into something down the road, we can change it on the website. But if everybody is agreeable with that, I would go ahead and submit that to the county to get it on the website. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we will do that and get that posted. Okay. Is there any other items of business?
I wanted to bring up this thing. with
Go
the-
right ahead, go right ahead.
Recently, the city EDC proposed a new expanded economic development area out in the Honda area where we already have one. And there are several overlaps from theirs and our economic development area. Don's already checked with our attorney, and just because it's an economic development area, shifting districting, there's nothing wrong with overlapping districts, economic development areas. All that says is we can spend money in this area, or we don't have to. And just because that's the, I don't think, same cities, ours.
That has to do with the data center.
Is that where they annexed that ground in?
Huh?
Is that where the city annexed that
Yeah.
ground
Yeah.
in? Okay.
Yeah.
In our
It's a-
economic development area
Data
goes through
center
that
area,
part, so
but,
there's no conflict. So there's no need for us to revise anything.
Must not be lucrative.
No,
Nah.
just don't advertise to the city too much.
Knew that they did that.
I seen where they're doing it.
Well, I went down to City Hall and got a copy of it. just
Yeah,
to-
I saw it earlier and had talked to the attorney about it, just the, I said, hey. And she said, as long as it's just the economic development area, it's okay now. If we get into other issues, then we don't have to look at it. But just being an economic development area, is not a problem.
Now, if they would have pimped that area, it'd been a different story.
Yeah, then we had discussions at that point. Anything else, anybody?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Very much.
Very